Hi, this is Dr. Kurt Wohler for AutismRecoverySystem.com. The title of this short video is Why It's Important to Do an Organic Acid Test, also called an OAT, before using general amino acid supplements. So if you've not done an organic acid test for your child from Great Plains Lab, it's really important to do so. And I'll show you one place where you can get this done if you're not currently working with a doctor or you need some further assistance. I'll show that to you here at the end of this video. On page 1 of the organic acid test from Great Plains, at the bottom of page 1, there's this section called bacterial and Clostridia markers. Now, there's a number of different Clostridia markers that are linked to Clostridia bacteria. Clostridia bacteria are a specific type of bacteria that can live in the digestive system, and some of them are pathogenic, not all are, but they can create different types of toxins that can have an adverse effect in the brain and nervous system of sensitive individuals, including individuals with autism. As you can see in this particular case, marker number 16, HPHPA, is quite elevated. So what happens is the two primary Clostridia bacteria, and it's thought that potentially other toxins produced by other types of Clostridia might be a problem too, but these two are definitely known. The 4-creosol and this HPHPA chemical both are measured off the organic acid test. And what they do is they inhibit this enzyme called dopamine beta hydroxylase. All of us have dopamine beta hydroxylase in the body, and this is found throughout the body, not just in the brain. But what it does is it aids in the conversion of dopamine to norepinephrine. And why that's important is dopamine and both norepinephrine are involved in a balancing effect on attention, focusing, well-being, etc. But when we block this enzyme, we can have an increase of dopamine. Too much dopamine in the brain and nervous system can be. What's happening is that dopamine is what's called highly reactive. It starts to break down. It can rob the body of glutathione, which we know is already oftentimes deficient in individuals with autism. It can also lead to direct cell death of brain cells, creates a lot of oxidative chemical reactions, overstimulates the fight or flight response of the brain and nervous system that can lead to aggressiveness, self-injurious behavior, high levels of anxiety, high levels of self-stimulatory behavior. So there's a whole host of problems that can occur when dopamine levels are too high. And so what we have is we have a situation where the Clostridia bacteria are producing these toxins, and those toxins are then inhibiting the enzyme that helps us to properly metabolize and keep our dopamine levels in check. Now, this is another example of an individual with extremely high levels of Clostridia toxins. In this particular case, it's the 4-creosol that's almost at well over 1100. And there's another toxin here from Clostridia called 4-hydroxyphenylacetic acid. So very, very high levels. And the problem is in this person, the levels are so high that it's blocking that dopamine enzyme, and it's causing the dopamine chemical called homovanillic acid to also be extremely elevated. Now, as I mentioned, very high levels of dopamine can lead to severe consequences in the brain and nervous system. In autism, what you'll often see or can see is aggressiveness, self-injurious behavior, self-stimulatory behavior, irritable, agitated, etc. They have had cases of high dopamine levels leading to psychosis in some individuals. Well, it turns out that certain amino acid products have certain amino acids like tyrosine and phenylalanine that the Clostridia bacteria use to make those toxins we've just been talking about. So for example, phenylalanine can be used by a number of different Clostridia bacteria to make the HP-HPA. L-tyrosine, as we see here down on the list, can be used by Clostridia difficile bacteria to make the 4-creosol compounds. So the organic acid test is very important to do prior to using either individual phenylalanine or individual tyrosine or a combination amino acid that has those 2 amino acids in it, and most of them do, by the way, because you've got to make sure that the Clostridia levels or Clostridia is not present. So that is my general recommendation is before using these combination amino acids or individual phenylalanine or individual tyrosine in an autistic individual, you really need to make sure that that person does not have high levels of Clostridia. Now, if you need assistance in doing the organic acid test, you can obtain this. One of the websites is through Lab Test Plus. Now, if you order through labtestplus.com, once the lab results are sent to us, I do a personalized written review on that lab test and then give action step suggestions. And then certainly we'll let you know if the Clostridia markers are present. And of course, if you have ongoing questions, you can reach me through the forum of this website. This is Dr. Kurt Wohler for AutismRecoverySystem.com. Thank you.